He's going to drop the throw. Fires deep along the right sideline. He is going to drop the throw. Fires deep along the right sideline for Alec Pierce.
He's got it! Touchdown! Touchdown! Alec Pierce spikes it into the end zone. Touchdown! I-N-D-Y! A 32-yard grab over the shoulder snag.
What's up, Colts Nation?
Good evening. Sorry, for some reason when I went to click the intro, it didn't go right away. It went black screen, and it just confused me. So, good evening, Colts fans. Hope y'all are doing well.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing tonight?
This is about 6 days after getting blown out in the fourth quarter against the Dallas Cowboys, which has not been fun for me living out here in Dallas. So. That's all I've heard all week. So I kind of kept the Colts hat away and just wore Army. Go Army, beat Navy, baby. Let's go. Most boring game of the year you'll ever watch for college football, but it's all right. It's the only time I ever root for the Army anyway.
And me, I am a Gators fan, and we did not play today. I believe we play tomorrow. Got our bowl game coming on. But yeah, hopefully everybody's been good. But I did have two things to start out with for everybody that's a Colts fan here. Just about the game last week. I remember specifically telling everybody before we got off the podcast, I told everybody, take your feelings out of the game for Sunday. And we go across the entire board, every Colts group, every Colts fan, just pretty much everywhere you can sit there and think of. Everybody was pissed off. And man, it just really gets old when we just keep putting our feelings in a situation, just keep getting them destroyed. And I knew it was going to happen. I actually thought it would have been like a little bit more closer. I mean, we had it competitive to the fourth quarter, but I told everybody, take your feelings out of that game for Sunday. Just take them out. Just take them out because it wasn't going to end well. And at this point, we're ready to start going down that road.
Yeah. So. If you remember, I said that we were going to lose 36-6, so I did anticipate getting our ass whooped.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pretty close in the that's the differential of that game. So I kind of anticipated it. I think what most Colts fans are upset about is the fact that, like Colts fashion does, they made us look good all the way up to the fourth quarter, and then just kind of from there just started turning the ball over nonstop. So it's not even like the Cowboys destroyed us, right?
Yeah.
It's just that for some reason we had a complete collapse in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it was crazy to see that game stay so tight. It's like the Colts just wanted everybody to stay up real late, get you right up to that 8 o'clock point, and then say thanks for sticking with us, and then just dropping off at that point.
Let's make a quick announcement real quick. Max Duggan received the Davey O'Brien National Quarterback of the Year award. So that's my guy. If you watched last week, y'all know that's my guy. Yeah, he just won the Davey O'Brien National Quarterback of the Year award. So.
Yeah, and if any Colts fans are wondering why that's important, Matt is very high on Max Duggan. That's his number one on the QB list. So that brings me to my second point that I wanted to bring to Colts fans. Can we please stop acting like we are poverty when it comes to quarterback? Like, Jesus Christ, man, I done heard everything under the sun we can think of. Even me and Matt were talking about it before the game, before the Rams and the Niners Rams and Raiders played. That some clown was going to post about how we should have gotten Baker Mayfield, even though the Colts sat there and spanked the Raiders too, just a few weeks back with Jeff Saturday coming on as a rookie head coach. Like, Jesus Christ, I've seen everything you can think of. Like, it's like, why do we need to keep sitting here acting like we need every quarterback who's ever thrown a pass? Like, Duke throw one TD pass, and we should trade the house to go get him.
I think I should have avoided creating a Twitter account, right? Because I created a Twitter account specifically so I can get news for this podcast. And I follow a lot of Colts fans. I follow a lot of analysts. I follow, everything in the sun that comes to football, right?
Yeah.
And for some goddamn reason, as soon as the Rams won that game, as soon as they won that game, oh, we should have got Baker. Imagine Baker. Imagine Baker. Like, listen, I get it. Baker Mayfield made two good, he had two good drives at the end of that game to win that game for the Rams. But remember, we beat the Raiders too.
Exactly.
We beat the Raiders too. So, and we beat the Raiders with a high school head coach in his first NFL coaching experience who never even coached in college. So, just with an OC who'd never called a game before in his life, and that was the best game he called. So was it the best game he called, or was it because of the fact that the Raiders are really just trash? And let's just accept that.
Facts. And we just gotta we gotta get over this stuff, man.
Hey,
Hey, what's up, Josh?
Josh, we got a new follow, we got a new listener in here, man. What's up, Josh?
Yeah, he actually runs it's on Facebook. He runs the Facebook group.
Is it
I
We Are
believe it
Cold
is,
Strong or one of
no, it's
those?
Horseshoe Mob. He runs Horseshoe Mob. He also
I'm
has
not
a
in that one.
podcast. He also has a podcast as well. So if anybody takes a listen to him, check that out as well. I'm not sure what days they are active, but yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, like, we can't just sit here and act like we have to go get every single quarterback under the sun. People were talking about which quarterback should be our bridge quarterback,
Look at
and said,
YouTube comment.
"Oh, that's my cousin CJ. Thanks for coming in, cuz. Appreciate you."
Not gonna lie, that's the first time I've seen a comment come up from YouTube.
Yeah, I've been trying to get everything on there. I was going to tell you we need to add some hashtags to it.
I
Just
will make an announcement.
random stuff in.
We're no longer streaming on Twitch, and that's only because nobody was following on Twitch, and I was paying $7 a month for Twitch, so I just kind of like said, no, I'm not doing that no more.
But yeah, so even people saying like which bridge quarterback would be better, talking about Baker Mayfield or go back to Jacoby Brissett.
Hey,
It's
my
like,
boy Tovar's in here too.
just
Dang, everybody's in here tonight.
just get a damn rookie quarterback.
Yes.
Go from there. Let's start fresh. Now, if we go get a veteran quarterback, that's fine. If we roll even with just Sam as our second string QB, or let them two rookies, or let the rookie quarterback compete with Sam, I'm fine with that. But we cannot keep talking about every quarterback in the damn NFL. Like Derek Carr's not going to work. Jimmy G's not going to work. Like, we can't just keep going naming every quarterback. Josh says Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, which will be 6 o'clock Western time, where I'm at. No problem, man. Great to have shouting you out. You've been open to everything that I've shared. You've never denied anything, so appreciate you as well. But yeah, man.
Appreciate that, Tovar. Appreciate that. I specifically bought it for the Army Navy game today, and I actually ended up really liking it. The one AD patch on the side. Really hyped about it.
We just can't keep talking about every single QB. It's just
no. So my thing is I already told you there's only one vet in the NFL that I'll take right now, and that's Lamar Jackson. If the Ravens do not re-sign Lamar Jackson, I would take Lamar Jackson right now in a heartbeat with a new head coach and keep Chris Ballard. That's just me. And we talked about it this week. Another good point to bring up, which I would like to see what Josh thinks about it, and what some of these other guys, even the non-Colts fans that are in here with Tovar. I know he's not a Colts fan, but
he's a Ravens fan. He'd actually probably have a big opinion on that one.
Yeah, he's a Ravens fan. But the thing we talked about earlier this week is where we go from here, right? And that all depends on what Jim Irsay wants, and that also reflects on Chris Ballard's future. So if we go Jim Harbaugh and we put all our chips in on Jim Harbaugh, we get Jim Harbaugh.
Moving to a coaching segment.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we. I mean, it's kind of mixed in still with the QB thing though. Because we also included that when we were talking with QBs and shit. But
yeah,
if we take a Jim Harbaugh, I don't think we keep Chris Ballard, just because I don't think they're gonna work together very well. They're both very stubborn and want certain things, and they're just not gonna work together very well. But if we bring in like Bieniemy, I think Chris Ballard stays. I pretty much think any other head coach I think that we bring in outside of Jim Harbaugh, we're going to keep Chris Ballard.
I agree. I agree with that point. Yeah. So for anybody who doesn't know, my top three as far as head coaches go would be Jim Harbaugh from Michigan, Eric Bieniemy, offensive coordinator from the Kansas City Chiefs, and third would be DeMeco Ryans, defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. But yeah, like Matt said, I totally agree with that point. I think with Harbaugh, I think he'd pretty much want his own GM at that point. Depending on, I mean, if him and Chris Ballard could work, I can't necessarily say they have different mindsets, but maybe they do a little bit. If you think about some of the guys like what was it? What was that dude's name? The Alden Smith for the Niners, who really had some character issues, but was a great player. That was a guy Jim Harbaugh wanted, a guy that Chris Ballard wouldn't take his chances on. So yeah, that'd be a good one to see. And then yeah, also agree with Matt on Lamar Jackson. That'd be the one veteran that I would want. I mean, now there are some options, maybe like say some really hot takes, maybe like a Justin Herbert if the Chargers didn't want to pay him or something. Um, those would be the guys that I would say. But other than that, I'm ready to get our own rookie, start over, or not start over. Actually, just start fresh because I still think our roster is pretty good everywhere what we have. And if we had a quarterback with a little bit better mobility and had the complete ability to have the arm strength and whatnot, I think we'd be good to go.
I want to answer this real quick. Tovar says, realistically, with Jackson at QB, is your system going to match? As it took a solid 2 years to build around him, and I personally think because we're in a situation where we are actually hiring a new head coach, our system is going to change. Our system isn't going to stay what it is now. This is Frank Reich's system, even with Parks calling plays. The system is still the same. It's going to change. So if we brought in Lamar, honestly, pairing him with someone like Jonathan Taylor is going to make things deadly in the rushing game, in my opinion. That's
Yeah, and Josh also says he personally thinks Chris Ballard should go. He's part of some of the issues we were having. If Jay stays, if Jay stays, if Jeff
just
stays, Chris
he said
Ballard
Chris Ballard is
gone. Oh, okay. Um, yeah. I don't know. I honestly don't want to keep Jeff Saturday. I love Jeff Saturday, but we got to be real here. I don't think he's ready to be a head coach in the NFL. I think maybe some other team that probably needs some bridge help maybe next year could give him a call and something like that. But I personally wouldn't say he should stay. That's just
I'm all right with Jeff staying to be a coach, just not head coach. I'm all right with him coaching offensive line, if he would even accept it at that point. I don't know many men who would go from head coach back down to an assistant, but that's just
There's
me.
been quite a few of them. You look at
But I mean for the same team. I know Wade Phillips did it.
yeah, okay, for the same team.
I know Wade Phillips did it. I know Matt Prater did it. Or Patricia did it. There's a few other ones. I think Brian Flores right now is a consultant.
Yeah, for the Steelers, different
Yeah.
teams though. That was
Yeah.
key to your point.
Key,
To
yeah.
the same team, the only ones who've done it for the same team would be Josh McDaniels and Matt Patricia, going back to New England.
Right, but they weren't the head coach of New England. So
Oh
it's like
yeah. So it's kind
if
of
you
like
were the head coach of New England and then went back down
basically
to be
like
an
getting the
assistant.
demotion on that team and then
Yeah.
sitting around and just being like, "Hey, fellas, I'm still here."
That's ridiculous. I'd feel like a clown
It's
working in
like
that.
it's
So
like getting kicked out of class and then you get to come back.
yeah.
But Josh says Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. I've liked what the Lions have done this year, but I don't know if I'm totally sold there just because that offensive line that the Lions got is probably number one, if not number two, number one in the league. I think that has a lot to do with why Jared Goff is succeeding. They've been so garbage. They've been able to build that. But I mean, honestly, I mean, as long as he's a good play caller, I'll take him. It's just I don't want to. I want to make sure we get the right guy that can lead the team and that can develop a quarterback with all the pieces that we got because we're gonna get a new coach, new coordinator, pretty much a new system. Everything's gonna change, so I don't know how it might work with everybody.
I just want somebody that makes the offensive explosive, man. I think, man, I would take a guy that has the mindset of Chuck Pagano. Chuck Pagano was that guy that wanted to spread the field at all times. Man, that dude was going deep, no matter what, and I'll take it. I mean,
Yeah,
I got
it
it.
worked when he had Andrew Luck until Andrew Luck was gone.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that wasn't his fault. That was the whole reason why. That was the whole reason why him and Grigson didn't get along was because he was asking for offensive line, and Grigson was drafting dudes like Philip Dorsett, not giving him, shit to work with. So, but I mean, and honestly, if you read the article, I don't think Andrew Luck retired because of the injuries. That man retired because he just couldn't deal with the
Yeah, I've
spotlight and
actually
the pressure.
for Colts fans out there, I actually shift the blame now. I shift it to his wife.
Oh yeah, 100%.
His
Well,
wife,
because
for
she
Colts
told him
fans
she
that
was going to
don't know,
leave him.
haven't read the story. Yeah, Colts fans, his wife gave him an ultimatum and told him, "Hey, you need to either
Well,
figure it out. You are more than just a football player, or I'm gonna leave you." And so
so
she,
if you didn't read the story, if you didn't read the article, it was a very good read, and I read it at work, and even even told the boss, and said, "Hold on, man, I'm reading something." But no, he was when he was a quarterback, he couldn't get out of the mindset that he's more than just a quarterback. So he took all this pressure from the team, from the fans, from the city, from the NFL itself, and he made himself into something he didn't like being. And then when he was at home, he shut himself out and he wouldn't talk to his wife. He wouldn't let her, I think it was girlfriend at the time. He didn't get married till the
yeah,
last year
this
he
is
played, or
yeah.
till that off season after 2018, I think is when he finally got married. Um, and then she told him that he needed to open up to her. Pretty much was he needed to be able to talk to her, and it just got to the point where Andrew was playing in 2018 and just wasn't enjoying it at all. And that's why Eric Ebron, T.Y. Hilton, they want to come out and talk about their side of the story because their side of the story is going to give another perspective of what they saw of Andrew in 2018. And I don't care what podcast they
The,
go to. I want to see that.
the tough part is though is they only saw the guy that wanted to be tough and keep playing. They
Right.
didn't see the guy who was battling on the inside with just being a normal human being and being a quarterback and trying to lead a franchise every day. And that was what the pieces and parts out of the story tell that people should know is this guy was having trouble being a human outside of being a quarterback. So feel for the guy, miss the guy. Wish things could have been different, But
And
yeah,
that's why I like Max Dugan so much because Max Dugan reminds me of him. And all Max Dugan wants is a pizza party. All right. I don't know if y'all saw that, but Barstool told him that if they win the national championship, they're gonna throw a national championship pizza party for TCU, and they're gonna order like 160 pizzas or 200 pizzas or something like that, and each player is gonna get their own pie. So it's ah,
we got a comment, another new commenter.
is that Nathan?
Nathan commence says, I see Jeff Saturday taking over the front office job or offensive line coach. Honestly, personally, where I see Jeff Saturday going, I think he's going to go back to ESPN after this year. Probably, take a year off, get back to having fun on ESPN, and then if he gets considered for another job, maybe next year, I think that's what he'll likely do. Just personally, because I think what he came into this job, I think it's a really overwhelming situation. Jeff Saturday's not really used to losing as much as we lost over the past 3 weeks now. And then just just everything that goes with it.
Especially the Cowboys loss. I don't even think we have the right person at head coach right now to fix what happened after that type of loss because Jeff had never lost like that. In his whole NFL career, we had never been blown out 50 something to 19. So how he's going to respond to that is going to be interesting.
Everybody's getting looked at.
Zach here says best OC name is Jim Bob Cooter. Fucking. All right. Just kidding. I'd love to get a guy from the Rams or Dolphins or 49ers coaching tree because offensive, in my opinion, those are the three systems that are super successful right now and definitely make the most sense without making a ton of personnel changes. Just my opinion. I don't think the Rams really have anything going on offensively, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's because they've had more offensive line changes than the Colts, which has been bad for the Rams. They don't have a single offensive starter on the offensive line. Matthew Stafford is out for the year with concussion. Cooper Kupp hurt his ankle. Aaron Donald is out. What's his name? God damn it. The receiver that they got, Allen Robinson, has been out for most of the year. They really just haven't had a single sniff at anything. The
I think
reason that yeah, go ahead.
I think their main issue is that they can't figure out the running game. They can't figure out who their running back is. When they
Well,
coming into the season, it was Cam Akers.
they gave up on it.
Yeah, and then after that, it was
It was the guy that just got released from the Jaguars.
yeah, because then he got cut from the Rams, and then it went back. It's a big
Yeah.
mess right now over there when it comes to the running game. So
And see, that's the problem. If you look at they had showed a graph of where they were at, where the Rams were at with Jared Goff when they were at their peak, and the more they stopped running the ball, he declined. They showed the same graph for Matthew Stafford from when he came in, and they were mixing in that play action with the passing game and the run game. And as soon as they got more and more on Matthew Stafford's arm, he declined. So their scheme just really changed from when they had Todd Gurley as the featured back to just being primarily a super passing team. So I mean, Zach, really any guy could really just come out of nowhere. Look at none of us knew who Mike McDaniel was when he came from the 49ers system.
oh, and he's my
So it's
favorite
just really
active head coach. That
yeah.
dude
So it's
cracks
really
me the
just
hell up.
it's all about can you get talent? Can your GM get talent? And then as a coach, can you lead guys? Can you make guys believe in themselves like he did for Tua? I think that's what it's going to come down to. So we can all have our coaching preferences, but it's like we just got to get a guy who people believe in.
So personally, I think Mike McDaniels, he's so successful over there in Miami because he's literally the player's coach. You know, he doesn't make a decision without getting the input of his guys. Hey, what hash do you need it at? And I mean, there's that video cycling around, and then
Yeah,
Tua
they had
says,
the
just go with wherever you want to go.
Did you see the video where I guess he was on the sideline with Tua and the offensive coordinator, I believe it was, and Tua said something about the play went wrong, and Mike McDaniel was like, "No, I fucked up. That was my fault." You just
Oh
don't
no, I
see,
didn't see that.
yeah, you just don't see a lot of coaches take responsibility for what they do wrong, and I think that's why a lot of guys in Miami they really rock with Mike McDaniel's, and that's what more coaches need to you know take upon themselves, especially Nathaniel Hackett. Learn a thing or two from the guy.
Facts. So Nathan here says, who do you think we will get first round? I think it fully depends on where we end up.
I agree.
Fully depends on where we end up and who is drafting before us because it fully depends on who needs a quarterback. Um,
Yeah, it's a
I
Nathan's question.
I've said a couple times I'll take Bryce, CJ, or Max Dugan. Either three. I don't like Will Levis, and it's not for the same reason that D doesn't like Will Levis. I just don't think Will Levis played enough competition to prove to me that he can carry a team.
Oh, he did play enough competition. He didn't look good against the competition. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, that too. But I mean, he hasn't beaten anybody.
Yeah,
And Max,
exactly.
and the whole reason I like Max Dugan is because he's the reason why TCU is where they are. I mean, you can't take that from him. That man, in every game where they faced an uphill battle or some kind of adversity in the fourth quarter when it was 8 minutes and less, you know, and that 8 minute drill kicks in and Max Dugan takes over, and you
And
just
people can try and point out and say that Max Dugan plays for TCU and they haven't played anybody either. But guess what? Max Dugan is going to compete against anybody. As long as
yeah.
he got guys riding with him, that guy's going to compete, and he's another guy that I like as well. And so
Oh,
that brings me to who do we get in the first round? Like Matt said, it depends on where we pick. If we're after 15, somehow we win out some games. If we're up that high, probably go best player available. I'm probably thinking cornerback personally to me. offensive line, edge rusher. You can go those different routes. But if we're anywhere close to that 12 and lower, we need to find our guy. So whether we trade up or not, or whether we take a chance on a guy like Max Duggan, Anthony Richardson, Hendon Hooker. There's the kid from Stanford who people talk about. I'm not saying you reach for one of those guys if you don't feel like. I mean, NFL scouts personally watch them more than I do. They can evaluate and pick however more they want than I do. But if you don't feel if you feel like that guy can last to the second round, then you take the best talent available and you ride with that. But if you're inside of that top 10, you need to go find your guy at quarterback.
Yep. So I will say that with all the things I've read when it came to what the Colts scouts are looking at and who they're looking at, CJ Stroud is one that has not been tied to us at all. So I wouldn't even get that in our mind that we're going to go CJ Stroud, because it just doesn't seem like that's where Chris Ballard wants to go. I don't care what people on Twitter want. And actually, from what I've seen the last couple weeks, I haven't seen anyone on Twitter truly want Will Levis. I've only seen one person on there that's been posting about one Will Levis. Everyone else has been talking about either Bryce Young or Max Duggan, and even Hendon Hooker. But Hendon Hooker to me is going to fall to the second round because of the injury. So, like,
a lot of those and Anthony Richardson.
And I've seen Anthony Richardson's another guy, and I know that I haven't watched enough of, but what I've seen of him, I've only seen highlights, which I'm not the guy to go and watch highlights and make my decision based off that. I'm a guy that goes and watches game film. I go back and watch games. I want to see where you are in situational football.
He gets a lot of Josh Allen comparison. The only thing that, like, me, I'm a Gators fan, and I could sit here and lie to people and be like, yeah, take Anthony Richardson because I'm a Gators fan, but it's tough for me to really say I feel that way, because one of the big things that I look at as a quarterback when you play in college is accuracy. And that's one of the things that worry me. So the fact that he gets the Josh Allen comparisons, because his accuracy could jump from a 53% to a 60% to a 62% and keep going, that's what you would want to see. But he could also end like a Cam Newton and end up completion percentage sticking around 57 to 61%. And that's what personally scares me about Anthony Richardson, which is why if you want to take him, there's a lot of upside there. But if you don't find the right coach, you're going to be just like every other NFL team, and you're going to kill a lot more quarterbacks than you're going to create.
I'm willing to bet that if everybody pays attention, there's going to be scouts at every single playoff game for college this year. I would focus heavily on the Georgia-Ohio State game, and actually both of them, Georgia-Ohio State and Michigan-TCU. You can't tell me that Chris isn't going to have a scout at both games, or multiple scouts at both games. You got Max Duggan in one, CJ Stroud in the other, and then old boy Stetson Bennett in the other. So there's three quarterbacks that could potentially. I mean, the only reason I don't like Stetson Bennett is he's pretty old,
and he's tiny as shit.
Yeah. So I mean, but there's three quarterbacks that could be potential that are playing in the college football playoffs. So I would expect that weekend of New Year's to be very heavy with the scouts over there. So
two guys I'm not taking is a Stetson Bennett and a Will Levis. Those are just two guys.
Listen, the minute I see somewhere someone reports that there are scouts at the TCU Michigan game, I'm going fangirl status. All right, and I'm going to be hype. I'm going to be excited, because that means that Chris Ballard's looking at somebody I've been looking at for weeks. So Stetson is the same age as Lamar Jackson, which I believe is 26. I know that's not old.
I think they're both 24. 24 or 25. One of those two. Because Hendon Hooker is the same age. He's 25.
I think they're 25. I'll look it up, but I know they're the same age as Lamar Jackson.
Actually, you stay on Google and Twitter. I'm sure you can find that.
He's 25.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so Zach here says, if a QB isn't available when the Colts pick, so you rich anyway. What?
You're so rich anyway. You're so rich anyway.
Okay, because the fifth-year option is too valuable, or do you go best player available? To me, the Colts need trade up and try to get a top 2 or 3 pick so they can get their guy in the future no matter what, in my opinion. If the Colts don't go QB in round 1, the draft is a lost cause. I figured you meant reach. I just didn't. The Jim Beam gets to me sometimes. I
Hey
don't
Zach,
really catch
hey
on
Zach
about that.
for that. Hey Zach for that question there. Give me a pick number for that. Which pick would the Colts have in that scenario?
So in my opinion, I agree with Zach in the first round because right now we're at 9th and I don't see us winning any other game except for Houston, and I hope we just blow that game on purpose. Because at
I
that
mean,
point, we're not playing for
the
anything.
Colts will find a way because we were down 20-3 in that game. So I mean, it's not out of the
That's
world.
what I'm saying. I mean, we're playing the Vikings. Justin Jefferson is gonna, I don't know, roast us somehow because somehow we're gonna put Facey on him all game long.
I mean, I think he's gonna get doubled and still gonna torch us.
Yeah, I agree. And then we got the Giants where Saquon Barkley is gonna have 250 plus yards rushing or all-purpose yards, and then we got Houston. So
Oh, I see what he's saying. He's saying trade.
yeah, that's what he was saying.
You're saying should we trade up
That's
and
what he's
go get
saying.
a top sec? Man, that depends to me. So if you're gonna trade up, so like, in my thinking, like, think about the Niners not last year, but 2 years ago when they traded up for Trey Lance at the number 2 overall pick. Um, from what I was hearing is that the head coach for the 49ers, he did not want Trey Lance. He wanted somebody else, and the general manager wanted Trey Lance, and so they weren't on the same page. So to me, if you're gonna trade up to go get a guy, you got to know it's gonna be the guy who you want, regardless of how it shakes out, and who both of you guys can decide upon. So we need to get a coach and a GM to figure out if that's what we're gonna do. And then you also got to know that is CJ Stroud or is Bryce Young, whoever you're taking at number 1, 2, 3 overall pick, whoever you're getting, you better know.
So with me, I want to comment on that part because yeah, I like that you brought that up. When a coach and a GM don't agree, uh, sometimes in my opinion, a head coach needs to just bite the bullet and take what the GM gives them because the GM and those scouts, they're a little more in depth when they do their analysis than a head coach is. So
Yeah, because they're watching all year.
yeah, that's their job. Your job is to coach who we give you.
Yeah.
That's like technically, the GM is the boss of the head coach. Like that's
Yeah,
he
but
runs you.
it's kind of tough though when you're in that situation because if you look at like my bad for cutting you off, but
No,
I
you
just
good.
want to say like if you look at a situation like a Robert Salah, like I don't think he complained about getting Zach Wilson, but think about if he would have had a say on who he gets at quarterback because look how he got this Jets team rocking, and what if they would have took a Justin Fields at number 2? You know,
No, yeah, no. I
it's like
understand because then
it's
then I
like
look at the
what if your GM is just taking players that are just
right. I
not
mean,
guys?
I get it when I look at it because I've worked both sides. So
Mhm.
it's just in my opinion, the head coach, if he wants a certain guy, he needs to work with the GM to say, this is why I want this guy.
Yeah,
And then if the GM says, well, this is why I don't think we should take this guy, that
yeah,
communication needs to be there, in
there you
my
go.
opinion. Like,
That's
like with a Trey Lance, I can fully understand why Kyle Shanahan didn't want to take Trey Lance. I'm not a Trey Lance fan. I'm not a fan of someone who comes from a place like North Dakota State going in the top 5. And you see what happened to
and
Carson Wentz.
that really hasn't played any
No,
football in 2 years.
for one, the NFL is 0 for 2 when it comes to those North Dakota State quarterbacks. So how's that look for North Dakota State, for one? And then I'm
They got
sorry,
a
but
they got a 10 out of 10 in Christian Watson, man. I was calling it all off season. I
but
wanted the Colts to grab him.
but
Ugh.
that's not a quarterback though.
I know, I know. I'm just saying.
I'm saying quarterback. I'm not. I
I
don't
know.
care about any other position,
Yeah, I
in
know.
my
I'm just
opinion.
saying.
You
I wanted
because you
Christian
can.
Watson bad. I just
It's just quarterbacks. I mean, North Dakota State, Trey Lance. I said, nah, that dude ain't gonna be it because look at Carson Wentz. They're injury prone quarterbacks. They play in a small school that doesn't have very many competition. I don't care what anybody says. Carson Wentz came in and he had a terrible rookie year, and then his second year he did good, and then he got hurt, and then Nick Foles took everybody to the Super Bowl, and then it's just been Carson Wentz has been downhill from there. Trey Lance has barely played 2 years. He's played maybe 2-3 games in 2 years that he's been in the NFL. And Jimmy Garoppolo has literally carried the 49ers with a defense to the NFC Championship game. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one there. But yeah, Zach, just to that point, honestly, if you think about it, like the way some people rate them right now, some people don't even have Bryce Young or CJ Stroud as that high of guys anyway. So might just want to sit on your hands and kind of just see who you end up getting there. Um, but me personally, there's so many quarterbacks that you can kind of pick and choose from in this draft that I might not even trade up for one. So
My thing is I don't think there's many QBs that can be day one impact. I think it really boils down to maybe 4 quarterbacks that could go in the top, I don't know, maybe top 15 that are day one starters that'll make an impact. Not just day one starters that make an impact. And those are Anthony Richardson. I think he's going to make a day one impact because of his athleticism. I don't even care about, I'm looking at arm strength,
yeah,
accuracy, things like that, being able
yeah,
to make those throws. But at this point in the NFL, at this generation of football, you got to look at the guys that'll make plays with athleticism. And Anthony Richardson's one of those. CJ Stroud, he's the same way. He's more of a pocket passer at that point though, but he'll make those plays if he needs to. Bryce Young will do it, and then Max Duggan will do it. Hendon Hooker, I didn't watch enough of him.
I love.
And the only reason
Only reason I'm not super high on Hendon Hooker is because he's 24. That's it.
right, but then the other thing is he's not going to be in the top 15. And that's only because of his injury. Somebody's not going to take him because of his injury. So you're 24, and I believe it was a knee injury, correct?
ACL.
Yeah, 24 with an ACL. Bro, I'm 32. I just had my ACL reconstructed. It's not fun. So,
that's why I got him as a second round pick now, which is why I said for the Colts fans who even, hey, what's up, Chad?
I was waiting on Chad this whole time. I was like, where's Chad at?
Yeah, even if we decided to wait and say we took say we got to the number 2-3 overall pick and we took a guy like Will Anderson, and then say Chris Ballard or Jim Irsay or whoever's the coach head Colts is or whatever, and we took a Hendon Hooker in the second round. Me personally, I'm not mad at that. I'm really not, because if you get a Will Anderson, you then get a game-wrecking pass rusher, and then you also get a quarterback in the second round who I believe still has pretty good upside. So there's multiple ways you can try and maneuver in the draft.
But my only argument against that is our most pressing need, which has been our most pressing need since 2019, has been quarterback.
Yeah. No.
I won't even say 2019 because I liked Jacoby until he got hurt, and then
see, my thing is I would be upset with the first pick that we took when we get Will Anderson until I seen us grab a quarterback. That's just what I mean.
Depending on who the quarterback is, I don't know, man. Maybe we pick. I don't know. Maybe if we're, let's say, 6.
Actually, Will Anderson is from Alabama, number 31.
So let's say this, because if I'm Chris Ballard, I'm making moves this draft. I have to, because if I'm still here as Chris Ballard, I have to make a splash, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm making a move. Let's say you make a move for Will Anderson. Let's say we get to the 6th pick.
Hey, Dan Knight is another Max Duggan guy. Go ahead.
I see him. I see Max Duggan come up in the comments, and I'm hyped. But let's say we take Will Anderson. Let's say it just drops it. Let's say we're at the 6th pick. We take Will Anderson, right? At this point, Chris Ballard can still make a move into the first round and get a 2nd pick in the first round.
Get 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, there's still ways to trade into it. In my opinion, I've already said it. I love Shaq Leonard to death. In my opinion, if we really look at it, this season has proven that Shaq Leonard is 100% replaceable. The only thing that we need is to hope that maybe Zaire Franklin or maybe Bobby Okereke can get some more, or Bobby Okereke can get some more turnovers. But we could use Shaq as a way to move up again into the first round and grab a quarterback in the first round along with Will Anderson. Those are the type of scenarios that you can make happen.
Exactly. And so that's why I say I wouldn't be totally upset. The whole point here, guys, just to round it all out, quarterback. Get a goddamn quarterback.
Get a goddamn quarterback.
As personally, our point, Matt would love to have Max Duggan. Me personally, I love Max Duggan, but I like a lot of other guys in this draft. So to me, get a goddamn quarterback.
So just so everyone knows me a little bit, I don't typically look at prospects until after we lose our last game, which is normally in the playoffs. I'm not used to being here heading into week 14 thinking, hey, we'll draft. Like, I'm not used to this, right? The last time this happened was 2011. And in 2011, I was in Afghanistan, so I didn't have time to be like, oh, I'm gonna go look at some players. I was too busy doing war things.
I was actually one of those guys that was checking out that draft, and I was pissed the fuck off that people were even saying, "Hey, Colts might grab RG3," and I was like, "No way, no way." But yeah.
So this year is like the first time in my life as a Colts fan where I'm looking at prospects. Ultimately,
Dream, Chad.
4 weeks early. 4 weeks early. So I'll go ahead and answer this. Fire Ballard and convince Harbaugh by giving full control of building a team. And
that is me and Matt's number one.
That's our number one. My number two is Bieniemy and keep Chris Ballard, because I think those two could work together pretty well too, as equally as maybe Harbaugh working by himself as GM head coach. But yeah, that's definitely my number one right there. I think a Harbaugh in control of all personnel and all of his staff, and draft a guy like, I don't know, Bryce Young, which we've been tied to, or Anthony Richardson, or Max Duggan. I'll try and stop saying Max Duggan first. All right.
My guy for Harbaugh is Anthony Richardson, without a doubt. I think Anthony Richardson with Harbaugh could literally be an upgraded version of Colin Kaepernick. He could be an upgraded version of a Cam Newton in his MVP season, and at his peak, he can almost be like a Josh Allen type player. So I personally love the idea of having him. We could have those QB off tackle sneaks that they do with Justin Fields in Chicago. He's also 240 pounds, and I believe he's going to run like a 4.3, 4.4 in the combine. So that would be my guy. And the guy I'm talking about, he has a cannon. And I mean, this guy can throw 67-yard bombs on a rope. So that's going to be my guy I would want for Harbaugh. That's when I will say that I got a lot of bias there. I would want Harbaugh with Anthony Richardson.
So Chad also says, I think if they keep Ballard, the veteran players won't want to come play for a Ballard era team. And you know what? Here's the thing. If we keep Ballard's going to have to throw some money at some of these guys, which I believe is Paris Campbell. We got to throw some money at Paris Campbell, which I'm also harassing the shit out of his wife to try to get him to come on this show. And then he's going to have to throw some money at Yannick. I think Rodney McLeod is under a 2-year contract.
1 year.
Okay, so Rodney McLeod, I want to bring Rodney back.
I'd give him another 1 year for 1.4 million.
I want to bring Rodney and Yannick back and Paris back. I think mostly anybody else who's hitting a contract year, you can go.
So Chad, I disagree with the where the players won't go to play for, because if you look at like some other situations like Carolina or Miami before the season started, players will play somewhere if they can believe in a situation. So I think that anytime you can get players to believe in what they're going to do, what they're going to play for, or you give them the right amount of money, they definitely will play, I believe. My thing is just will Chris Ballard stay is the real question. And we got breaking news out there, everybody. If you are a college football fan, Caleb Williams wins the Heisman Trophy winner, just as I predicted. Congrats to Caleb Williams. To me, I consider him the next Patrick Mahomes. I'm very high on the guy. If we can get him next year, that would be awesome.
Is Grover?
Congrats to Caleb Williams.
Is Grover in a contract year? Does his contract end this year? Dan, that's a good
No,
question.
no. I think he has one more year left on his deal because I believe
That's what I thought. That's why
I
I didn't
thought.
say anything about him because I
Oh
would.
no. I think we drafted Grover in 2018. I believe.
So he
This is
might
a
be in a
contract
contract
year.
year. If this is a contract year, yeah, keep Grover for sure.
Yeah.
And then to answer Ashley, 1 year deal because I mean I
I
understand
would
that he's
love
been.
to have Twycon, but he got to stay healthy, man.
I understand that Taekwon's had the health issues, and everybody here has heard me say Taekwon is probably the best edge sealer that we have. So certain games we definitely missed him in. But yeah,
Man,
I would say bring him back for
relentless.
another year, let him stay healthy and earn it.
He's relentless.
Yep,
Love his play.
let him earn it.
Uh,
But yeah, Dan Grover for sure. That man needs to come back because him and Buck, they could easily dominate the league for years.
yeah, definitely. So then, just to Colts fans out there, who are wondering, a little bit of what we got going on as far as this week is the scheduling. We are currently the 9th overall pick. If we're looking to get into the top 5, we need 3 things to happen tomorrow. We need the Arizona Cardinals to beat the New England Patriots. We need the Jacksonville Jaguars to beat the Tennessee Titans. And we need the Carolina Panthers to beat. I'm sorry, I forgot who they play this week, but we need them to win as well. If those 3 team wins, we would move from the 9th overall pick to the 6th. And that would get us up a few spots while we have a week off. So we'll see how that goes and see what we're looking at heading in Monday.
So next week we play Saturday. I believe it's at 1:30.
Yep, because they were going to put us on prime time, but we suck, so they took us off.
Yeah,
Or not took us off, but they put us on Saturday at evening time instead of
yeah,
night.
so I'm tracking Saturday. We play at noon my time, so 1 p.m. Eastern. So our show will still be on that night. It'll be pretty much an instant reaction of the game. We're probably pretty much going to be praising how great Justin Jefferson is because the dude is a stud.
Nope. Colts fans will not. Colts fans are still going to be yelling at their TV saying, "Why didn't we do this? Why didn't we do that? We need to go get Baker Mayfield. We need to go get Derek Carr. We need to go
Zach Wilson, baby.
We need to go get Ryan Leaf. We need to go find somebody. Is Peyton Manning going to come be our offensive coordinator?" Colts fans are still going to be pissed off. Just stop being upset about this season. Just enjoy the games and watch the guys playing in blue. You know, we love our blue. Just enjoy the games and don't keep expecting anything big. Just expect some little bit of highlight plays here and there from some of our key guys, and hopefully we keep moving up that draft board.
Facts. Chad says, "What do you see our final record to be?" I think we're gonna have 5 wins.
Yeah, me as well. 5-12-1.
Yep, and I think that win's gonna come against Houston. Unfortunately, but Houston's
Or
gonna
no,
have
5-11-1. My bad.
Yeah, but Houston. No, it should be 5-12-1. No, 5.
Can they give us 18?
Yeah, 5-11-1.
5-11-1. 5-11-1.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, there's an extra game.
Houston's gonna have the number 1 pick either way, so I'll still take whatever.
Yeah, that's what I think. Our final one would be. Yeah, beating Houston would be nice as long as we can secure a top 5 pick. If we gotta beat Houston, and it makes us the difference between a top like 6 to 8 pick versus a top 3 to 5. I don't know if I'm gonna be saying beat Houston, man.
Listen, there are some teams that we need to be rooting for that aren't the Colts. And as far as I'm tracking, at least one of them is Jacksonville.
Yeah, Jags, Arizona, and Carolina.
Right, and it's not just. Yep, we need Cardinals, Carolina, Jacksonville. We should root for the Raiders. We should root for the Rams. Those are the most So you get Cardinals, Carolina, Jacksonville, New Orleans, Rams. If they win at least 1 or 2 games, we jump up quick, fast, and in a hurry, and we hop up into the top 5.
That is the goal, man. That is the goal. Get
That
that.
is the goal. And then let's just drop the Houston game. Screw it. Why win it?
I mean, it's gonna be tough to convince the players of that, but I just, me personally, if we're fighting for, like I said, if we're fighting in between
What?
3 to 5 pick or a 6 to 8, 6 to 9, I think we definitely got to consider like benching JT, benching. I'd probably keep Matt Ryan in there because he'd probably give Houston a few turnovers. Benching guys like
Here's the thing.
Pittman Jr.
The defense can play their hearts out. I don't care about losing 1 point, 2 point games. Let them play their hearts out because those dudes, they're not going to not play their hearts out. Julian Blackmon had made that clear. The offense is going to lose us those games anyway, so keep them all playing. Fuck it. Put Matt Pryor in. Let's go.
Yeah, we know once we see Matt Pryor, we know we're tanking for sure, guys.
Yeah, man, and I don't know if anybody has ever played that VR Pro, the NFL Pro era game on the VR, but that game, they do a pretty good job on there because Matt Pryor sucks, and I do not like playing quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts because
I'm
every
surprised
time.
you didn't trade that guy before the season started.
So it's not like that. I'm just the quarterback. I'm not the front office. I'm just the quarterback. So it's so hard when it comes to like Matt Pryor not blocking. I remember the first I think it was week 2 because I beat Houston. Week 2 came up and it was Jacksonville, and bro, Josh Allen was in my face every play, every goddamn play. I was like, bro, this game's too realistic. I'm about to get fucking sacked every goddamn play. It's pissing me off.
Yeah, Matt Pryor's literally a revolving door. You go.
You know what? But here's the thing: we're gonna let that man go. He's gonna go somewhere like Green Bay and be great.
I don't know, man.
Be fucking great.
What Chris Ballard doing? He gonna sign him to a 3-year, $11 million deal.
Right. Dan Knight says RD is special, but they get tired because our poor offensive play. That is 100% facts. That is facts. That's exactly what happened against Dallas. The defense got tired. The offense was turning the ball over. Pretty sure we have 5 turnovers just in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, we had.
I can't remember, but
no, not 5 in the fourth quarter. We had 5 the whole game.
Okay, there was 4.
We had 3 Matt Ryan interceptions. We had a Mo Ali Cox fumble, and then we had a. I want to say Jonathan Taylor fumble, but I'm not sure.
I want to say that too. No, I think it was Alec Pierce.
Yeah, it might have been Alec Pierce.
I think it was Alec Pierce.
In
the fourth.
Either way, 5 turnovers. I'm positive about the 3 Matt Ryan picks. The one Mo Cox fumble. And then
because that Mo Ali Cox fumble is when I turned the game off.
That was the one that changed the game for us.
Yep, I turned that game off.
We actually had a huge chance right there to take the lead to go up 27-21, and he fumbled.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a good play call. It was about to be a good play, and it was just a Colts.
So, that brings me to another thing for Colts fans. So I have to question some of the decisions that Chris Ballard made. And one of the biggest ones to me was, or 2, I should say, is bringing Jelani Woods and Ogletree while also having Kylan Granson already. And then we signed Mo Ali Cox to a 3-year, $33 million deal when it's taken the guy 5 years, almost 6 years to develop, and we're not making him the name starter. That's just questionable to me. Like, why waste the money there if you're going to draft more guys to come in and play and develop? Then the other one was the bringing in of Nick Foles, and we let 2 guards walk out of the building, Chris Reed and Mark Lewinsky, and we let both of those guys walk out of the door. So to me, it's like, if you're Chris Ballard, why are you thinking draft 2 tight ends and Mo Ali Cox is not being a primary guy, being a tight end, while paying him 3 years, $33 million. Those moves are just questionable to me. I feel like kind of like a waste because, I mean, well, why are we paying a guy $33 million and we're not using him?
Agreed. Chad says Alec Pierce made some really nice catches against Dallas. Kid could be a stud if he would fight to play. I thought it was crazy because we said that last week, before the Dallas game, and then Alec made a play down the field. I can't remember what quarter it was, and I remember saying to DeMarco, I think Alec Pierce watches our show, because we said we wish he would turn around and actually fight for the ball rather than
Look for the ref.
look for the ref. And he turned around and actually jumped and caught the ball, and it was like a 30-something plus yard play, and it was pretty nice. I believe our receivers are good, man. I really think that if we re-sign Paris Campbell and we keep MPJ and we keep Paris Campbell, we keep Alec Pierce, and then we have Ashton Doolin. I want to keep Ashton Doolin as that fourth guy just because he's shown that he's reliable. Kiki Cootie's not it. Dude, every time he touches the ball, it looks like he's going to fumble it, and I don't like it. Dude needs to go. So when Ashton Doolin comes back healthy, that man needs to take his spot back over
And that brings
Kiki.
me to another reason why I'd love to see Eric Bieniemy. I'd love to see see what he can do with a guy like Parrish Campbell, and then say we bring in a quarterback like a Max Dugan or a Hendon Hooker, and keep those receivers MPJ, Alec Pierce,
Yep.
the tight ends that we got. I mean, man, it's honestly the weapons that we have. It should be easy for a coordinator, but you got to have a quarterback that can still move the ball, that can be mobile in the pocket, because pocket passers are dead.
What we need is to the only person on our offense that should go. There's two people, and you know what? We're not even gonna talk about offensive line because we know there's issues there. Mo, I'm good with him leaving.
I'm trading.
Yeah, I'm good with trading him. I would like to keep Woods needs to be the featured tight end.
Yes, sir.
And then Grant.
I mean, it might even be a battle between him and Ogletree, because Ogletree was really big in the preseason before he got.
But that's why it's good that Mo can go, because then you got Jelani Woods, Granson, and Ogletree, and those will be our three premier, our three guys. But then at this point, Jelani should, moving forward, be our featured tight end. And then the rest of the offense should not be touched, minus a couple guys on the offensive line, maybe get a right guard. I think left tackle is good. I think Bernard, if that's his name. I still haven't
Bernard Ryman.
Yeah, I still haven't figured out his freaking name yet. He does pretty well over there at left tackle. So
he's getting better.
Yep. And then honestly, we could probably pursue a center, because I don't know what's going on with Ryan Kelly, but ever since him and his wife had that issue with the pregnancy, he has not been the same. And Braden Smith, since he got re-signed and got that contract, that dude ain't been shit. So solidify the right side of the line.
I mean, actually, when he has his games where he plays well, he plays really well. It's just those games that he has bad where it's like, why are you looking like Matt Pryor, dude?
But here's my thing, right? And this is the thing with the edge guys, right? Left tackle and right tackle. A lot of the times the reason those dudes don't play well is because
they come right there.
The reason those dudes don't play well is because typically they don't trust the guy next to them.
Yeah, exactly.
So that could be what's going on with Braden Smith, is he just doesn't trust what's going on in the inside.
Yeah, I hope it is. Dan Knight says, do we get Parks as offensive play caller? Not for next year. He's out of there too, man. I think
I think he's gone. He's Frank's guy.
I think the guy did good for his first game.
He's gonna go somewhere, and he's gonna go ahead
but he started showing signs of Frank.
Here's the thing: the weird thing about Parks is that Parks was never a coach. He was an assistant. So the thing is like he was an intern for like 2 years under Frank, or 1 year under Frank, and then he became like Frank's assistant. He was never an actual coach. So what I see him doing now is that he's showing that he can be an offensive play caller. He's going to go to another team, and he's going to go ahead and be an actual coach. It's going to be a positional coach. It's not going to be like offensive coordinator or something. He's going to go be maybe
a coach or something.
He's going to go be a QB coach, yeah, and that's what it's going to be for Parks. And but no, I don't see us keeping him down here. Chad, Chad's asking, do we keep the receiving core as it is? I would like to keep the receiving core as it
So,
is.
Chad, to that point, Zach's not on here right now, but he's one of our other co-hosts. We were just talking about this. You keep receiving core as is, and you're going to draft a rookie quarterback. You're likely going to shake some waves with the veterans and whatnot. And say we come out next year and we don't really play so well, and we got a rookie quarterback who got some upside. The take is to take Marvin Harrison Jr. next year. The guy's a phenom. He'll be the next star receiver, and that's the guy that we can bring in after that, depending on how everything goes. But yeah, so I think you just keep the receiving core as it is right now.
Yep, agreed.
And also, Dan Knight's question, agreed. We have a good receivers coach. Reggie Wayne has already stated that if he would have known the season would have gone the way it would, he wouldn't have taken the job for Frank Wright. So I don't really know if Reggie stays next year. Would be nice to keep him, but I'm not really sure that's going to be a likely thing to stay.
I kind of hope that Reggie gets used as in a higher capacity. I think Reggie's shown with what he's done with these receivers this year, he could move up, in my opinion. Just depends on who we take and who wants him as because head coaches come in and it's almost 99.9% chance that everyone in house as a coach is fired. They're gone. And they're all going to get other jobs because that's the thing with the NFL, man. People come, they go, they move all over the place.
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Right. So
and then this brings me to the comment that I was laughing at. Chad here says Jeff fired as head coach, brought in as center.
He's not built like that no more. You see how skinny Jeff Saturday is compared to when he was our center? Bro, that boy's like a third of what he was, of the third of the size he was back then, bro.
I appreciate you, Chad, man. You gave me a good, real laugh. I needed that, man. Nah, Jeff can't play any center.
But, so much smaller, bro. There were people out here calling him hot. Somebody, I think somebody said something the other day. I think it was last week. Somebody hit me.
AJ Hawk?
I don't know who it was. Somebody hit me. I can't remember. I think it was somebody at work. They were like, "Yo, tell him, hit up Jeff Saturday. My wife says he's hot or something." I don't remember. Somebody said some shit. Yeah, somebody was attracted to fucking Jeff Saturday last Sunday. I was like, I was dying. I don't remember who it was. Oh, they were sending me text messages during the game. I was like, motherfucker, I'm in bed. I stopped watching.
Yeah, that shit was that's funny. Yeah, that one got me.
Hey, so just a reminder, you know, we'll do a little admin right now real quick. We're no longer streaming on Twitter or Twitch, I mean. Nobody is actually watching on Twitch, so it was not worth paying Twitch to continue to stream. But I don't have to pay for YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. So those are the three that we are streaming on. Make sure you still follow us on IG because we are on there also. We are terrible at updating our social media. We will try to get better at that.
Yeah, I promise I'm gonna try and be on top of that a little bit more, guys. It's been a little bit tougher for me, but
yeah, we all have day jobs, man. So when we try to update, I mean, we're taken from other podcasts. It is what it is, but
yeah. And I also post on my personal page, which is why I forget to post on the social page. So
right,
that's why
yeah, Dan, I definitely ditched Twitch. I was trying it. I wanted to see if we would get some people that were on Twitch, but I was paying like $8 a month for Twitch, and nobody was following, so I canceled it this week. But we're still on Facebook. We're on YouTube, Twitter, and we still put everything on Spotify. So make sure you go ahead and follow us on Spotify. All right, go ahead and listen to us on Spotify. If you just want to listen to Colts talk.
I mean, if you like me, if you have a job where you're driving around a lot in a truck, it's great to have. I listen to all types of podcasts on there, and then every once in a while or every day, I'll take peeks back and listen to our podcast on there. So it's great just to be able to get a listen to. You may not get the video, but the audio is definitely still good.
Right. So we're definitely on that too. I'll try to get better at actually posting it on Sundays. A lot of times, I think today was when I actually posted ours, but it was actually sitting there as a draft on my computer all goddamn week. But I got so busy, I forgot to hit publish. So I just published it this morning, but it's on there. So What do you guys
Chad,
think about the Leslie Frazier rumor? I don't like it.
Chad is asking that question. So yeah, me and Matt has talked about it this week in our group chat that we got. We already seen the Leslie Frazier story. Uh, didn't really like him in Minnesota. Don't really like him coming to Indy. It's a tough one with those defensive coordinators, man. If they're not really like a big high energy guy, which is why I personally like D'Amico Ryans and like a guy like Robert Saleh, those defensive guys, they got to be all energy. They got to be all motivational. Um, those got to be the type of guys that you hire. It's easy to be a defensive coordinator, and I don't want to say it's easy, but it's easier to be a defensive coordinator and call plays and sit on the sideline rather than be a coach and have to make those calls. So not really too high on Leslie Frazier. Me personally, and Matt.
Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of Leslie Frazier. I mean, he's been a coach before. I don't typically want a guy who was a coach and failed. So,
Yeah.
What else y'all got?
Well, while we get any more comments, Matt, what are you looking forward to this week? To see anything out of any of these games? Maybe a free agent you're looking at, maybe a player you like. Anything you looking forward to seeing tomorrow in these matchups this week?
Man, I gotta look at these matchups, man, because I did my picks this week and it was tough. To be completely honest, let's see. Let me pull up this week. Phone is getting blown up.
Yeah, mine's too.
Let's go downloads. Here we go. Nope, that's week 12. Let's see. Here we go. Week 4. What I'm really looking forward to be completely honest, who is it? The Giants and Eagles that play this week?
It is.
I think that's the big game I'm looking forward to watching this week. Not because of any free agency or anything, but because I picked the Eagles, but I'm really feeling that the Giants are going to pull that out, and I have no idea why.
I've been having that feeling too, but I did pick the Eagles as well.
But I haven't seen really many free agents that I'm like drastically interested in. I think in all honesty, the only one that could actually pop up on free agency that's got my attention is Lamar Jackson at this point. And I think the only reason I'm like that is because I think in every other position on our roster, I could say is solidified. I just think QB is the only one right now that I've got my eyes focused on. And right guard and right tackle, but there's not very many right guard, right tackles in free agency that are going to be worth going and pursuing. So,
okay.
What about you?
So the ones that I got, I'll say free agents that I do have that kind of twinkle my eye. I got it's gonna be Orlando Brown Jr. from the Kansas City Chiefs, left tackle. He's the guy that I'm looking at. He already did get franchise tagged. He hasn't come to terms on a deal, so they can franchise tag him one more time. But I don't know if the Chiefs want to necessarily do that. And then the other guy would be Jack Conklin from the Cleveland Browns, right tackle. So those are the two guys that I
former Tennessee.
Yeah. So
former
those
Tennessee.
are the two guys that I'm
just offensive line.
Yeah, because it's like those are the two things that I really feel like those are things we can address. You can sign some other guys here and there, but I really don't like. Honestly, it sucks that we don't have a really good head coach and a really good play caller and a quarterback because I really feel like this team doesn't have like major holes until like more future down the line. It's just that we don't have pieces right now that we need. And
right, because it's like we've talked about, man. If you had the right head coach, the right quarterback, and the right play caller, this offense is so easy to use.
And our defense has given up 24 points twice this year. And then they gave up, of course, the 54 to the Cowboys. But that was a 19 to 21 point game. So if you think about if our offensive making a few more plays in that game, they don't give up 30 again. So we were the only team in the league to not give up 30 before that. But then my couple of matchups here that I had a couple of upsets this week. I had the New York Jets beating Buffalo Bills. I had the Cleveland Browns beating the Cincinnati Bengals, which is kind of not really an upset. The Bengals with Joe Burrow are 0-4 against the Cleveland Browns, so I'm not really upset. But one of the things I got there, and then I also had which was the other one that was a big upset that I had.
I'm trying to pull up my picks. I don't even know where my picks are at this
Can't
point.
remember. Thought I had 3 of them there, but I think that was it. Yeah, I think that was it. So those were my 2 major upsets. New York Jets and Cleveland getting wins over Buffalo and Cincinnati. Those were my 2 big upsets. Things that I was looking forward to this week, and then just a couple of free agents that I had in mind. Dan Knight says the 49ers beat the Bucks. I had that picked anyway. I think they should slaughter the Bucks, even if Brock Purdy don't play too good. I still think he should be able to beat the Bucks because the Bucks offense is trash and Niners defense is really good.
Chad says Lamar's gonna be expensive. That's 100% facts, man. That me and Lamar, that thing is just it's a pipe dream. So I'm not even reaching for that. To talk about the matchups this week, I want to say one of my other key matchups outside of the Philly and Eagles, which I think is going to be a great
Philly and New
game.
York.
Philly and New York, I think is going to be a great game. But the other game that I think is going to be a good one is going to be Miami and the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Chargers are starting to get players back.
Which one did you pick that way?
I picked Miami, only because I absolutely love Mike McDaniels as a head coach, and I love the combination between him and Tua. They have probably the best quarterback head coach chemistry since Belichick and Tom Brady, in my opinion. So when they lost last week, they clearly weren't happy, and I feel like they're gonna come out fucking swinging tomorrow. But I think it's gonna be a close game.
Chargers also have a Swiss cheese defense compared to the 49ers, so
right, but they are getting pieces back, and that's why I think that it's going to be a closer game than what it should be. Earlier this season, I would have easily picked Miami. This week I actually had to look at it like, oh, hold on, you know.
Yeah.
Ashley says
Brandon Staley sucks.
Ashley says Lions versus Vikings. That was a good one too, in my opinion, because Lions started, I believe, 1-6, or 2-5 or something, and now they're like 6-7.
The funny thing about that one is the Minnesota Vikings are 10-2, and they're a 10-point underdog.
Yeah, because here's the thing, man. Detroit looks good.
Yeah, but I mean, Minnesota, they're the first 10-point underdog to be 10-2 to a team under 500 in NFL history.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Oh, and we've been saying this all season on this show. If we could make it a quote on this show, and I could just put it at the top here, I'll put it at the bottom. Actually, I'm gonna put it at the bottom. Let's do this real quick. I'm gonna do it. Grilled. Oh, that's not how you do that. Let's see.
Just because, man, if I was a Vikings fan, I'd feel so disrespected. My cousin CJ, who actually came in here earlier, is a Vikings fan. I wonder how he's feeling about it because he's not a Kirk Cousins fan. He's happy where they're at right now.
Here we go. Where is it at? Oh, here we go. Right, bam. That's why they are 10-point underdogs.
He gave him a sticker. Poor Vikings fan. If there's any Vikings fan out there watching, I'm pretty sure Roy DeRucher, he's a admin on one of these groups. Might need to see that ticker and let me know how you feel about that one in the chat, man. See how you're doing over there. But yeah, man, me and Matt have called that all year. We actually had our other guy, Damon, one of our other co-hosts in here. He was actually pretty hyped up about the Vikings, and then they lost a game that me and Matt said they were going to lose, and he was like, "Yeah, you guys were right."
Yeah, Damon did do that. I think he was on the show, and he said you guys were right. Yeah, so go back a few episodes, and it was like 4 weeks ago. He said it.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, it's tough being a Vikings fan. I can understand your pain. Luckily, you guys are 10-2, so you're on the opposite stick of the Colts here. But I mean,
what's another
that defense gotta get it together.
what's another tough one. And I'm gonna say this. We're gonna go with this, right? Let's see, where's it at? We're gonna do a key matchup here, right? This is gonna be for the Sunday night game, not the Sunday night game, the Monday night game, New England Arizona game.
You should have did the Sunday night game. That one's more exciting.
Do you think?
Yeah, Miami
Here's the
versus
thing.
LA versus Arizona versus New England.
But here's the
New
thing.
England is gonna be
Arizona's
like
getting
15
healthier.
points. Yeah, I don't know. I think
They're
Kyler Murray's
getting
gonna be running for his life. It's gonna be like 15 punts in this game. Mac Jones gonna make
All right.
some casual play, and everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, Mac Jones." And I don't know. I mean, it's just me. I just don't. I really don't feel like that game's gonna be exciting.
All right.
I'm not even
So
watching
you
that.
want to go the Sunday night game?
Yes, that would be the one. Miami versus the Chargers. That game should be fireworks.
All right. Well, let's talk about it then. Go ahead.
So the reason why I'm really hyped up about this game is because of one singular guy. You probably know of him, Emmanuel Acho. So he's been going around for a while, and he has just been trashing Justin Herbert. I mean, disrespecting the guy. And he has this thing that's called the social media quarterback. He says Justin Herbert makes the cross the body throws, the big arm throws. He does all this, and that, but his game doesn't translate to wins. And so he's been clowning him. And then on the other end, Emmanuel Acho is super high on our guy Tua Tagovailoa. And he's talking about Tua's more accurate. Tua has more yards this year. Tua has more touchdowns. Tua does this. Tua does that. And if you look at it, it's true. I mean, Justin Herbert right now, his stats show, and the wins and losses, that he's a social media quarterback. He makes the big time throws, but it's not adding up to wins. And that's another reason why I personally blame that on Brandon Staley, who sucks as a coach to me. I would love to see Frank Reich coaching that Chargers team, personally.
So my station commander is actually a Chargers fan. And he says every day he can't wait for that dude to be fired.
Yeah. I agree. I'm not even a Chargers fan, and I agree.
So, and him and I actually got into a debate one day. Actually, it was against the Cowboys. When we were playing the Cowboys game, we were talking shit. Did you know Austin Eckler actually has more all-purpose yards than Jonathan Taylor in the last 2 years?
Yep. Yeah, but I don't care about yards. Give me touchdowns.
You know what I said to him? Because he kept trying to say Austin Eckler was better. I was like, well, get me a rushing title. I'm just saying. Yeah. Jonathan Taylor's got a rushing title, dude. So he's a running back. Get me a rushing title and then tell me Austin Eckler's better.
Damn. Dan Knight says Dolphins win by 17.
I don't think it's going to be that much.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a closer game than that. I think it'd be something like 23-25.
Yep.
Because Miami's defense they're all right. And then the Chargers defense, which is on paper, they're like, holy shit.
Yeah, but half those dudes are injured.
And when they play on the field, it's like, what? So so again, I mean, that's why Justin Herbert is being called the social media quarterback, because his team's not getting wins. And I personally blame his head coach. So yeah, I don't think they win by 17, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just I don't think they'll win by 17 either. I think it'll be like maybe a 3-point, 7-point game, maybe even 6. That much. I like Justin Herbert, but I don't think he's being utilized correctly. You got Mike Williams, you got Keenan Allen, you got Austin Eckler. That offense alone should be dominant, in my opinion. What do they need? A tight end? Maybe. If that.
You said who?
Chargers.
Yeah, I just think they need a new coach personally. I think they're in the exact same situation as us. I don't think Brandon Staley was personally ever really fit for the job. And then he's also like he makes the dumbest decisions. I mean, like last year, it was just awful, and then he got better down the stretch. I would say this year, but I just don't really trust the guy. I think if you like I said, like I would love to see Frank Reich succeed. I still like him as a person, and I think with him getting a quarterback like a Justin Herbert to consistently be able to work with, I think that team could be really good with a good defensive coordinator. And then if they can fix their run defense, I think they could be a really good team. But
Yeah, I
I
think they
just,
do too.
I just think Brandon Staley is not the guy, and he continues to show that he's just not the guy. I mean, I don't see how you could keep losing with that type of guy at quarterback.
I agree, 100%. 100%. What are
Yep.
the comments we got? What else you guys got for us?
Oh, you know what? You want to get into a preview for Minnesota game that we actually play the next Saturday, since we won't be on until instant reaction after. I guess we might have to wait. Maybe some injuries might change.
Okay, we can definitely do that. Let's do that. Go ahead.
So yeah. Keys to this game: lose it. I mean, that's gonna be my key to the game. Make it look competitive, and you know, I actually think this is like if we were in such a bad game, a bad year right now where we are, I think situationally this is a very easy game for us to win. I think our defense is good enough to throw Kirk Cousins completely off his game. I think Justin Jefferson will still go off, but I think we could easily take advantage of Kirk Cousins. Have a pretty good running defense to stop Dalvin Cook. And then defensively, Minnesota sucks, and I think Jonathan Taylor could probably run crazy on him. Matt Ryan could have some good plays. So don't go crazy, Colts fans. But I mean, I think this could be one of those upsets that we don't want, honestly.
I don't want any upsets.
Yeah, I know. Me either.
Lose. Just lose. Just lose. That's it.
Exactly.
Key matchup, Matt Pryor. Just let them blow by you. It's all right. I'm okay with losing. I want a quarterback. It's as simple as that. The better we lose, the better chances we have of getting a guy that we need for the future.
Yep. So, but yeah, it's a couple little key things there. I think that's one of those games where it could really be like, of course Jeff Saturday still wants to win. So I just honestly think that we could match up pretty damn well versus those guys. Just it's kind of scary to think that I think that could be another game that they're going to be underdogs and we might win.
Same.
Make the rest of the year start second, third strings. Yeah, that would be freaking awesome if we did.
Then we know who we're gonna keep, and who we're gonna let go. Simple as
Exactly.
that. Makes FA a whole lot easier.
Hey, Chad, just wanted to let you know your emoji is the wrong one.
I don't know what emoji he used.
But yeah, man. That would be my preview. I honestly think the key matchup would be to lose, but I honestly think that'd be a game that we upset and the Chargers, dude. So we will see you guys on the instant reaction pod. I think our
Yep.
game should be over after the morning, so we have a little bit of time to recover and get ready for.
Yep. So
night
the game comes on 1:00 on Saturday. It should be over by around 4. We'll be on about a few hours later to go ahead and talk about it. We'll either be miserable because we won, or we'll be miserable because we lost. It's one or the two. It'll happen. Make sure, again, follow us on IG.
If we
Follow
lose
us
a
on
close one,
Twitter.
I'm gonna be
Follow us on IG. Follow us on Facebook. If you're not in For the Shoe, go ahead and look up For the Shoe group. Join that group. We are the admins for that one.
Also, check us out on every other social media. We are on Instagram. We are on Twitter. We are on Facebook. Either For the Shoe group, Kicking with the Colts on Instagram and Twitter. Please follow us, and we'll definitely try our best to get those social media pages running a little bit smoother, with more content, maybe some more questions, trying to see if we can get some graphics together for you guys. I know off season is going to be here in a hurry, so we definitely want to get some stuff for you guys. And
yeah, and like Ashley said, Spotify. Make sure you guys listen to us on Spotify, man. I looked at the stats today, and man, we had like 1 or 2 views on older episodes. Like, come on, guys, re-listen to us. We're fun.
yeah,
Half of the time we're drunk, so just just listen to us anyway. You know what I'm saying? We're good time.
Yes.
Spotify, good times. Let's get us up there. But no, for real. Yeah, Chad, it's always fun with you, bro. Love that you come in here and you talk. We
Appreciate the
love
love,
answering
Dan.
comments. We definitely appreciate it. Make sure to come out every Saturday, 8. It's usually 8 to 8:15 p.m. Eastern time. Just depends on what time I put. It's mainly because it just depends on when these guys are able to make it on here. It's been me and DeMarco the last couple weeks, with Damon hopping on last week. The other hosts, Damon, Trev, and Zach, have been pretty busy with work and family and marriage and all different types of stuff. So
you guys should always see me here. Actually, this is pretty much my 3rd job, so I want to make sure I always try my best to be here. If you guys don't see me, that's when I actually got like something huge going on and whatnot. But for the most part, I always try and get here. Want to keep bringing content for you guys, and definitely want to keep this going and grow it bigger and bigger. So please do all you can to help us. We would appreciate it.
Hey, and the more help from you guys means the more opportunities for us to bring certain people on here that you guys would like to speak to, right? We are definitely putting in for trying to get this story from Eric Ebron, T.Y. Hilton. We don't know if they're going to choose probably a famous podcast, somebody who gets listened to by millions of viewers, but
we're trying to get some other guests too. We're definitely trying to get some things in the works. So
yeah,
please
we
keep
are.
listening, keep following, and help us like and share. Get us
yes, sir. All right, everybody, have a good night. And we know that there's no Colts tomorrow, so just go anyone that can help the Colts get a better draft pick. Go Jags.
Root for the Arizona Panthers and the Jacksonville. Let's go.
Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's go.
He is going to drop the throw. Fires deep along the right sideline for Alec Pierce.
He's got it. Touchdown!